All right, so I'm at my dad's house now, and we literally have been talking a lot of crap the whole day. That's really it, right? I mean, what better than a father and son? You know, we're guys. We talk a lot of crap, and I think not always do you want to talk about serious stuff. You know, I think my dad and I. Okay, let me get him in here. Okay, so. Okay, wait. I'm almost there. Wait. Thanks, Kanzo. So my dad and I, we always sit down and we're very theoretical. You know, we think about different philosophies. We literally talk about every single thing, and it's all about you know, like I was saying, you know, I learned how to be more just and more proper and more elegant and sophisticated, right? You know, he corrects me in Spanish, so when you know, I do plan on making videos in Spanish in when I get to other countries in Latin America. But you know, we agreed that in Venezuela, I'm still gonna do it in English only because I'm gonna keep on. Since it's the first country, I might as well just keep on with the audience that, you know, are on the side of the English side. Well, yeah, I speak English, and then when I'll get to probably like the third or fourth video, I'll go ahead and start, you know, talking in Spanish. But beforehand, you know, he wants me to more or less, you know, watch a lot more, watch the news in Spanish, you know, get what's called a lexico, right? Lexico? Yes. A lexico, which is basically your vocabulary, but it's more than that. It's more the cultural appropriation, you know, with the proper words that you want to be able to.
Well, not really. It's about lexico is about how much words you can use correctly, and it's the extension
properly.
Of the properly, and it's the
context.
extension of the about the whole language. How much you can
culturally
speak.
As well.
Yes,
culturally, and it's a sophistication, and right. It's adapting.
Yeah.
It's being able to speak about certain contexts and you know, speak. I guess culturally, you know, within the context, but you know, let's say. It's more like by the book, but it's a broader vocabulary, right?
Yes,
a broader vocabulary. But we were just talking about that. We've been talking, but really, I think you know, I think yesterday I was reminded of something very important, that sometimes, you know, you kind of tend to enjoy life because you're always constantly in control, right? And that's something I think I had a problem with that, right? You're always trying to make things perfect or be in control or have order, this and that, and you start feeling down. And I was watching this, it wasn't a movie, it was like a commercial about how, you know, a bartender was giving, you know, one of the guys at the bar wisdom. And he was basically saying, you know, the reason you find no satisfaction in life is because you're always in control, right? You gotta learn how to let go of control and just have fun. Right, so I think you know, as much as we talk, and I think we're gonna talk again with my dad, you know, when I come back from Venezuela that way, because that's what we do. You know, I'm used to talking to him. He lectures me. I learn. We exchange words, opinions. You know, we open our minds. We try to get down to certain things, and then I go. I'll either mess it up. I'll break my own heart. I'll break a leg. I'll break something. You know, I'll mess it up. I come back, I sit down, and I say, "Hey, you know, I messed up," or "What do you think about this?" Or "Hey, look, I think I did this right, but I did this wrong." And you know, I think, you know, as a father, I think you always have to kind of be honest and accurate and truthful, right? And I could always count on him to tell me a very unbiased, honest opinion or accuracy or truth, right? He tells me when I'm doing wrong, right? No matter what. He tells me, hey, you've done wrong. Okay, it's not him, it's not her, it's you. Or he'll tell me, no, you did fine, you know, but you still gotta cool it. You know, I think as a father, I think his duty is always to teach me. He always finds something for me to learn. But always, no matter what, because he always wants me to be the best of the best. I could do better than that. Like, don't forget this, don't forget that. So that's why my videos are more or less like that. It's me also kind of extending what he has taught me, and then what I've learned from my own experience from applying. You know, I think it doesn't make any sense. You're never gonna know if someone's right or wrong if you don't apply it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, if you don't apply it, you'll know when you apply. So he teaches me, and then I'll be all right. Let me go ahead and try it out. I'll go out there and be like, shit, he's right, you know, or I'll be like, you know, this person was actually wrong. But the more that's how I learned to really respect, you know, my dad. You know, he always told me the truth, and I wouldn't know until I live it, right? And then I've learned to just listen.
You have to live the experience.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You cannot just think everything is good if you don't go and see how
for yourself
how it is.
But I think there's a limitation to that too, right? Not there's some things that you shouldn't experience.
No, because you have to see the consequence of whatever you're gonna do or whatever you're gonna say about, I don't know, some kind of situation. You never know. You never know when can be true or not, or when it's gonna be good or it's gonna be in a problem for.
Yeah, I think if it's important enough, you got to see it for yourself.
Yes, definitely. You have to experience. Yeah. You have to have the experience by yourself. You know?
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, like growing up, right? I would have relationships. That's a good example. I would have relationships, and my dad already know. It's not about the girl being good or bad. Not about that. It's about who I am and what works for me as a partner, right? And he already knew that's not gonna work out for him. He already know from the get-go, right? From the beginning. He's like, look, she's a certain way, he's a certain way. It's not gonna work out. They're gonna have issues, etc. So then he won't tell me straight, From the time, like from young, he always knew, and I would have to just learn the hard way, and then I'll come out from a relationship, either I broke up with them or they broke up with me. Someone came out with a broken heart, and then I'm like, man, and the first thing my dad always tells me, he goes, I already knew that. Just like that, and then I'm like, if you knew, why didn't you tell me, right?
I told you.
He's always
I always tell you, like, hey, just be careful with this. Don't give it a lot of.
He tells me without telling me, right? He goes, hey, be careful. It's like, hey,
just look.
Wink, wink. Like, hey,
exactly.
But I don't get those cues, right? I just think, no, it's okay. And the next thing I know, bam, I mess up. Something gets messed up, and then I learn the hard way, and then, and then one thing he always used to tell me was like, el que escucha llega viejo, right? Which means the one that listens gets to grow old. And I really learned that. Why? Because not all experiences should be experienced, right? Some things you should just listen and not do it, because if for example, if you're going down a road and they tell you don't make that left because they're gonna kill you, they're like, oh no, and then they kill you, you can't come back for that. De malas, right? You messed up, you can't come back from that. So some experiences, some things you just listen, right? I think listening is extremely important. So I've learned to really listen, but then I also really learned to also who I'm listening to, right? But that's something I think, you have to definitely go out and experience, certain things for yourself. So I know we're going to have another conversation with him because I'm going to go to Venezuela. I know he already told me a couple of things on what to be careful about. He's traveled throughout Latin America, and he's seen a lot. He's lived a lot, and I'm also aware of what we're getting into, right? Venezuela right now with the economy, and with the economy crashing, and so many things, and the high desperation, and being a foreigner right now is not the best in Venezuela. But for the sake of filming, we're gonna go because I have to learn the hard way. So I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. But when we come back, when we all come back, I promise we'll have another conversation with him. And I bet you anything we're gonna have, you're gonna see what I mean. I told you so, or and then we'll go ahead and breaking it down. And that's literally how we've had this father and son dynamic, where he tells me one thing, I learn it, I apply it, I go out there and learn it, and I see it from my own eyes, and then I come back, I'm like, you know what, you're right about that. And then sometimes, I'll tell him, Ganzo, I don't know about this or about, he's open to it. He goes, it's not really like that, but what I meant to say was this, what I meant to say was that. But obviously we all can be wrong sometimes. We all can give our own opinion, but as long as you're open to it. But I'll tell you one thing, I'm not gonna lie, my dad he's always right. He's always right. I think he has a gift without him knowing. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He is. That's called experience. So imagine how many times this guy has made mistakes, right?
Too many.
So that's part of life. So that's more or less our dynamic, which is pretty cool, a lot of fun. It's more or less what has created the foundation of who I am and has led me to do this, because he was a reporter and he always pushed me to be a journalist.
I'm not a reporter, but I was working with
reporters, all this stuff.
Camera.
I mean, he was exposed to the environment. He worked with the crew, the news crews, right?
Yes.
So basically, being out there and getting exposure and getting experience and stuff like that, and seeing him telling me with all the things he saw and stuff like that, made me want to go out and live too. But he always said, be careful. So I think it has set the tone for the rest of this vlog, all these vlogs. Tomorrow we go to Venezuela, and we're really gonna set the tone for the rest of this channel. And I think I wanted to. I told him I want to film you before I go to Venezuela, right? Because it literally has set the tone for the rest of my life, and it's the reason why I'm doing it. So he has a huge part in who I am as a person, as a man. You guys met my mom already. She has a huge part in who I am as well, emotionally, mostly because she's a sweetheart. She's beautiful, and so now you see kind of like the dynamic. You kind of see, my father, my mom, and something I really, I gotta say, before, because from here on forward, this is about you guys getting to know me. I really respect my father. I really respect my mother. My mother, she's an amazing mother. She's my biological mother. And there's a lot of biological mothers that don't have to be mothers, right? You don't have to be a mom. And she chose to be a mom. She was a great mom, and she's lived through thick and thin. And she's a great example of a mom. But I really admire my dad, because he's my stepfather, but he's the father I always wanted, and he is my actual father. He actually raised me, right? We have so many things alike. Even when I get mad, I think I'm starting to look. I'm like, oh, that's right. So he raised me since the time I was a kid. So but I respect him a lot, because there's a lot of if you biological fathers are out there being fathers and doing what you're supposed to do, amazing, and we respect that. But I really respect someone that has chosen, because everything he does is he chooses it from his own heart, right? He chose to be a father, for me and for my sisters and his daughter as well. He has his own daughter, and that's my sister, and he chose it from his own kindness of his heart, not because he has to, not because of any other reason, but I think that's what stepfathers are all about. You choose to become a father for somebody else, and it's amazing to me. It's amazing how he has how I'm really his son, right? I'm really I theorize, I think I have kind of the same attitude as him, and it's just amazing. So the stepfathers out there that are actual fathers to their children, is something to respect, and it's something I really admire, and I'm always gonna respect them. And you really see how you really see throughout the vlogs how we just get along and how we're just so much alike. And my attitude, I mean, I really love being his son, because it's really cool. I get a lot more respect. I get a lot more things done. I'm a lot more productive. Every single thing he instilled into me. I'm better in relationships. I'm not going. I'm wiser about my relationships. I'm wiser about my business connections. Right. So I learned how to do business because of him. He's a great businessman. And he always said, look out for this, look out for that. Do everything yourself. Although it's harder, it's more rewarding, and you don't have any of those issues when it comes to business. That's a huge thing. We'll talk about business too with him, but yeah, this is the head the reason of my wisdom. He's helped guide all of it. And yeah, I can't, honestly, I live a really great life that he even says he admires and respects, but it's because of him too. So I think that's good. When we come back from Venezuela, we'll go ahead and sit down and talk to him about what happened in Venezuela. I'll show him, and he'll probably tell me, "I told you so," and
No, I expect better things for you. You know, I not expect that you make a mistake or you do something.
Oh no, I mean, but like expectations, like, hey, look, remember I told you this. Like, hey, be careful over there, because like that. And then sometimes I'll be like, nah, I'll be okay. Or I'll be like, you know what? I know. That's something I expect.
My hope always is that you get a better things.
Yeah.
Everything is gonna be good because that's the way. You're supposed to be positive and just go and realize what do you think is the other way or something like that. Something is trained or I don't know. It's different. You have to be. You have to be happy with whatever even it's wrong or it's bad or you take advantage of those situations.
Experiences,
It's always be happy with your life that you already have.
Find my way.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is the only way to find my way.
Yeah, but because I'm happy with the life that I already have. Even wasn't that good every time, but sometimes I get positive things, sometimes negative. But you have to be happy with whatever you already have and what are you doing now, because that experience give you a better consequences or
the bad brought good and the good brought better and all that stuff.
I know my lexico and English is not that standard, it's not the best, but I try my best.
That's something that's 100%, and I try my best to the point that I need to sleep more.
Yes,
but it's pretty cool. It's really awesome to be able to experience certain things that you never really thought were around you, but were actually around you, and now you get to apply it. And in this case, I never knew that once I started filming that I loved this filming. He always told me go into journalism. Go into becoming a reporter, go do this, do that, get yourself exposed. I think even to one point you told me, get into acting too, or get into something that is in the creative arts, but is gonna challenge your personality.
You get making more rich that kind of
education
and
sophistication.
You get more sophisticated about your profession, because there's going to be this
is my new profession.
Exactly. So you cannot be mediocre. You have to be good, because that's the way. But
if you're ever he always tell me, if I'm gonna do something, do it right and do it the best. No point. There's no point in doing it if you're not gonna do it.
I mean, at least try.
At least try.
Sometimes doesn't come out, but you can.
I had that huge problem, right, growing up. That I had a fear of trying.
Yeah, but like I say, you getting better, and you little by little you just learn the things. You accept things that you don't believe or things like that. Always is something. But you have to be positive and learn, listen. Always if you're a good listen person, you're always gonna get a good results. Good a lot of the percentage of what you get in the future is going to be better, even if you go little by little. But always, every day, like when you learn Spanish, every day you learn one word, you get rich. You get rich. So, you're growing. You accumulated more ways to communicate people, to learn what word means this, because sometimes they sounds like the same. Like we talking today about what was that thing? What was that word? That you use.
Perseguir.
Perseguir.
Perseguir is seguir.
And follow is different.
Yeah, following, and
it sounds like it's the same, but the meaning is different.
Yeah.
So perseguir is more like you did something wrong and somebody.
Perseguir and seguir They're both from the root from follow.
Yeah.
But the connotations and the significance, the meaning is very different. It's used very different. So like perseguir is used towards when the cops are following you. And I was telling him, oh, like I have to make sure I do good because I'm gonna have certain people watching and this and that. And I used the word really wrong. So it's on perseguir.
Well, it's not big things, but that make you people understand what are you talking. And also, everybody have the opportunity to understand everything. People with not much education, people with a lot of education, or this kind of education, like people as politicians or things like that, you can understand, and also you can explain what you mean in different ways,
Sure.
Well, I speak a lot of English.
So yeah, we've been having a good time. You guys have gotten finally, this is literally the last video before I go to Venezuela, and I think this is really good information. I really didn't think about how long these videos are gonna last because all this is part of the introduction, and I think this was my last thing that I wanted was to show you guys, where I came from, who raised me, where our principles came from, and what kind of background I have. So you guys can understand more about who I am. And now from here on forward, this is gonna be filming. I'm definitely gonna be sitting down and talking, to a lot of people. We're gonna be interviewing. We're gonna be meeting. We're just gonna know the ins and outs of many cultures, and and sometimes we're just gonna come back here, talk to my dad, see what he thinks, and just make it entertaining. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, sometimes we can't control it all. We gotta just do it, right? And that's one thing he was trying to say. With these vlogs, I'll find my way. We'll find the category. We'll find the way. Let it become what it wants to become. But the only way to make it become something is to try, start doing it. And that's what I've done. Is literally just start doing it. I'll get better as I go. These vlogs will get better as they go. They get more interesting as they go. I think naturally that's how life always is, right?
Yeah,
as an athlete,
take the best opportunities you can have. Man.
Yeah, take the best opportunity. That's one thing. Don't miss your opportunities. Try it, get better at it, fail, get better at it, and that's all we can do. And you will find a way, right?
Yep,
cool.
Definitely. Good.
So you guys met my dad. This was the final video before actually getting to the meat of everything, and I hope you guys enjoyed the introductions. We still will be getting to know me and talking about certain things that that have to do with me, but this concludes basically the introduction, and if you want to get to know me better and kind of understand where I'm coming from with everything, just look at all the videos before this, and make sure you like and subscribe, and thank you. So we're gonna keep enjoying ourselves. So bye.
Bye.
Bye.